there isn't an open mind to different options that could actually provide a reliable source of energy in decades to come. And we've got to appreciate that it isn't just a 2030 target or 2035 target, but it's also a 2050 target. And there's ample opportunities for this Commission and indeed this government to consider a whole plethora of different renewable options. And one of those should, of course, be nuclear, and it should not be excluded. And there's an opportunity now to demand that the Commission, in fact, consider nuclear energy as an option for electricity generation. I note with great interest, of course, that there are other nations around the world, including Canada, where nuclear is part of their mix in terms of their net zero targets, and they're not the only nation that are pushing ahead with their net zero targets and considering nuclear. And it's absurd, the fact that New South Wales, despite having or permitting exploration of uranium for more than 11 years now, New South Wales will not allow uranium mining, unlike other states, but more so will preclude the idea of even considering nuclear energy as a solution to providing reliable energy in New South Wales. Interestingly, of course, for the Coalition, their federal counterparts certainly have a very different view from their colleagues here in New South Wales, and I note Peter Dutton, of course, the federal opposition leader, is very keen to consider nuclear in the future as a energy provider in Australia. And it's also interesting to hear people like Michaela Cash come out in a huge fight against Chris Bowen, for example, where she argues strongly that, and I quote, "You need to have everything on the table if you really do want, over the longer term, to reduce emissions, to keep the lights on." So there is a push and clearly a divide between the federal Liberal Party and indeed the New South Wales Liberal Party, the National Party here, where their counterparts in the federal arena certainly keen to consider nuclear. So I'm hoping that the New South Wales coalition here, their friends here in New South Wales, support my amendment, because it's a wonderful opportunity to show a message, and I'm sure the New South Wales Liberals and Nationals here are keen to work with their federal counterparts, who are certainly keen to ensure that nuclear be considered in the energy mix in the manner that Australia deals with its net zero targets. But clearly, of course, New South Wales is spearheading ahead now of the federal sphere, and this is an opportunity where we can say that we'll be open to all different forms of energy, including nuclear.